Hi, thanks very much for clicking on the video link. My name is Natalie Armstrong-Motin with Marketing Resolution, and this is another in the series of idle chat videos for the American Bar Association's section for dispute resolution. Today, I get to talk to a colleague in the UK, just across the channel from me, John Gaffney. Hi, John.
Hi, Natalie. I think I should probably clarify that while I am admitted in the UK, I'm actually joining you from the UAE. I'm based in Abu Dhabi.
Okay, excellent. Well, how are things in the UAE?
Very sunny. This is a wonderful time of the year. The winter here is just wonderful. So we're enjoying very sunny climes, and it's very, very pleasant.
Very nice. Well, good for you. Aren't you lucky?
Indeed. This is it's wonderful to be here this time of the year.
All right. So, John, I know that you've seen some of the idle chat videos, so we'll just give the cards a shuffle and find out what we're going to be talking about. How did you find yourself working in the UAE?
So I came here 9 years ago, transitioned mid-career into arbitration, and after a number of years practicing in London and Paris, I was offered a position here to head up the arbitration practice of the Abu Dhabi office of Al-Tamimi & Company. So that was a wonderful opportunity, and one that I seized. So that's how I came to be in the UAE.
Very nice. Well, good for you. All right, I like that. All right. So, John, the first card reads, "What did you eat for breakfast today?"
So for breakfast today, I had apple, try to get some fiber, and then I had some creamy coffee and whole grain toast lathered with orange marmalade. So that was my breakfast this morning.
That's a good breakfast. Good breakfast. John, cats or dogs?
It's a difficult one. I like elements of both, and growing, I don't have any cats or dogs in my apartment here, but growing up in the country, we had both, and I liked the independence of cats, but I also like the loyalty of dogs and their patience. So I think probably I try to avoid a binary choice and have both if I had a garden, especially for the dog.
It's your chat. You can definitely have both. There's no wrong answers here. All right, John, do you play any instruments?
Not really. I practiced guitar as a teenager and had a wonderful teacher. But no, I really wouldn't regard myself as being any way competent musically.
You're not being too hard on yourself?
No, I think singing in the shower is probably about as close as I get to musicality. But I mean, I love music. I listen to music, almost constantly at work and at home, and I'm sort of very eclectic taste in music. But I don't pretend that I can any way play.
All right. Well, so when someone asks you for a music recommendation, who is sort of your go-to band or musician that you recommend?
I guess it depends on what they're looking for, whether they're looking for jazz, classical, more sort of contemporary music. So I guess it would really depend. Nobody has come to me for any recommendations so far. But as I said, I've an eclectic taste in music, so I'm always on the lookout for I like interesting covers, of pop. I was listening recently to Churches. They did a cover of the Christmas standard "Another Day" by E17, and I'm probably mistitling that song. But again, I love that creativity.
Right. I really like when people are good at mashups, when they layer one over the other and reorder things. I think those are a lot of fun.
I agree. It's, I love to see, musicians taking their own standards in live concerts and revisiting them and making them more interesting. Again, I think that again, is a wonderful sign of their creativity.
I absolutely agree. Let's see, John, if you never needed to sleep again, how would you use the extra hours?
In doing, I guess am I confined to living in the present, or could I revisit the past?
Your idle chat, you can do anything you want with it.
Well, I can tell you what I would do if in that situation is I would go back into the past and spend all the time I missed with my 3 older daughters due to work and traveling. Without a doubt, that's the time I would go back and spend with them all those valuable hours that I missed.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. I hope they see this video. John, are there any quote unquote old person things that you do?
Oh, more and more so. If you saw me in the office where I'm joining from today, you'd see me bent over because I have back pain from trying to work out 2 days ago. So I'm making what Billy Connolly used to refer to as old people noises, groaning as I try to walk straight. So definitely, and I see myself saying things that perhaps my parents would have said. It's old. Just trying to think of old, and I've started walking. I have a recurring knee injury from I think my younger days playing rugby, and so I've had to give up running for the present. So I walk every morning. So I guess that's maybe classified as an old person thing.
It's yeah, I feel you on all of those, all of those. John, do you have any tattoos?
No, I felt quite. I was visiting one of the hotels here, which is a very high class hotel, and I was astonished how tattoos have definitely become very fashionable. I remarked to somebody that I obviously missed the memo, and I should have got a few tattoos, bulked up and got a few tattoos. I think they probably look well, certainly from men's perspective, and guys who are buff and working out. But no, I have no tattoos.
All right, that's, maybe that's what you'll get yourself for Christmas.
I don't think so. I think that ship has sailed.
Oh, that's all right. John, what is the best book?
Well, it's very difficult just to pick one. I mean, if you're to say the best book, I'd have to say, as a Roman Catholic, I'd say, perhaps the New Testament. But in terms of the books that I really liked, I mean, I was a voracious reader as a child and as a teenager. And I had less opportunity to read as much as I would with work and family commitments. But I think the standout book for me is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I mean, it's just a wonderful, touching book with a wonderful, hero to which as a lawyer you'd hope to relate. And Atticus Finch's, his courage, his adherence to the rule of law when it had been easy to have abandoned his client in the face of the animosity felt towards him. And so that for me, I thought was a wonderful book, and one I really enjoyed. And, it had the benefit of the movie being almost as good as the book. I mean, and that's an unusual situation. So yes, I think in terms of novels, I think To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite books.
It's one of the books that I go back and read over and over. 4 years and I'll read the book, and a few more years and then I read it again and I pick it up. And it is one of those books, I think, from my childhood and probably yours, that was really character building.
It was. It's the kind of lawyer you'd hope to be and the person you'd hope to be. We ended up settling in a small town, which I loved, in rural Cork. And so, the dynamics of a small town. And you really got to admire Atticus Finch. So I think you're right. It's a book. It's a book that's worth revisiting, on a periodic basis. You can never grow tired of it.
No, that's a classic. That is one of my favorites too. And John, I'll ask you the same question that I ask all of my guests. Is the last question in an idle chat, and that is, what do you love most about the work that we do in the resolution industry?
I think there's a number of elements. I think primarily it's because it's the Pacific, settlement of disputes in accordance with the rule of law, as opposed to the rule of power or gunboat diplomacy in the case of investor-state arbitration. So that is what I primarily like about it, and it's worrying in today's world that there's so many attacks on the rule of law, and it's wonderful to see parties being able to resolve their disputes in accordance with the rule of law and respecting the award that is ultimately issued. The other aspects I like are the international elements. Like I'm sitting here with you as an Irish and English qualified lawyer in Abu Dhabi, working disputes which are seated around the world, which have different applicable laws. I spent half an hour with one of my colleagues from Egypt here discussing which applicable law should govern the validity of an arbitration agreement in a dispute involving European and Arabic parties with the different seats. So the academic in me, or perhaps the better phrase, the nerd, likes that aspect as well. And then I think thirdly are the people. I found interestingly that I felt I could relate better to many of my arbitration colleagues than necessarily my colleagues at home because of my interest. So I think they're probably the three elements that have attracted me to this area.
Three really good elements, sir. Thank you so much for joining me for an idle chat. It was really lovely to get to know you for a few minutes.
Lovely. Well, Natalie, thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Be good humans.